So today, folks, we're going to be talking about how to buy properties out of state. Josh, good to see you again, as always. All right, cool. How you doing, man?
I'm doing amazing.
Yeah?
How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing amazing too, man. Check it out.
You just got back from Paris. Just got back from Cabo.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, we work hard. We deserve to play hard as well, right?
Still in the gym, jiu-jitsu?
Yeah. Can you tell?
Nice.
Terrible. Getting old, guys, kind of sucks.
It hurts. Soreness is a real thing.
Yeah, I went to see the doctor the other day. They said it was like, hey, you got some tennis elbow going on. And so, yeah, this kind of helps with the straining. Anyway, let's talk real estate.
Let's do it.
All right, so Josh, I went to EXPCon International in Paris, and my mind just opened up. I got reinvigorated.
I love it.
Because it kind of reminds me back in 2008 to 2010, we had that mortgage meltdown. I was telling the audience on the YouTube channel that was watching maybe my other video that I was buying all kinds of property. I was buying I had 3 in Texas, 1 in Colorado, a couple in Florida, where else? Just all over, right? And towards the beginning of the mortgage meltdown, I had in escrow a property in Maui, maybe 1 or 2 in San Diego, and also 1 in Philippines, all at the same time.
Oh, wow.
I was playing really big.
Yeah.
Crazy big, right? And then, as I saw what was happening, I said, you know what, let's cancel escrow. I don't want to be buying all these properties. And my gut was telling me, this is not a good time to buy. And I was right.
Smart move.
Very, very lucky that I bailed on those. The one I kind of regret, quite frankly, is Philippines.
Really?
Yeah, because as U.S. was getting impacted, believe it or not, Philippines was not.
Oh, wow.
And so it was one of those things that, hey, we're in a global economy. People in California specifically maybe look out of state or out of the country. And so, Josh, you lend out of California, right?
No, absolutely. We do all 50 states. So usually me and my team do anywhere between 5 and 10 out-of-state deals a month.
A month?
A month. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Where are the last, say 3 months, where have you been seeing loans that you've been funding?
It's always really been concentrated in areas that have a high military presence, military bases. So Arizona, obviously huge. So Arizona, Texas, Florida, Virginia. Those are some of the areas we do a lot of. Also Washington, surprisingly enough. And most of those aren't related to military, but for some reason we do have a lot of people moving to Washington. And it's a more expensive area too. Most of the people that are moving out of state from California want to purchase something that's cheaper in a different state, which is great. If you own something or selling something here, you may have a couple $100,000 in equity that you can put down on a property in, let's say, Texas, and that property might be $500,000 for what we would charge 1.2 for here, and you can have a very low payment relative to what we're looking at in California, plus cost of living is much lower. I mean, gas is in the 3s in Texas right now versus, we see 6s and 7s here right now. So we have a lot of people doing that, but a lot of people are just outside of their control. You get permanent change of station orders. If you're active duty military, it's outside of your control. So we've got a lot of that as well.
Wow, that's exciting. I'm so glad you brought that up, because a few years ago, I coached, trained even some of my friends and family. My sister-in-law was able to pull out some cash out of her property here in Escondido, and she ended up buying in Texas.
Yeah.
And she bought for a couple $100,000. She used her line of credit and paid off that property, and now she has cash flow from that property in Texas. And so, folks, I really want you to kind of think about that. I always tell people, Josh, a lot of my buyers, investors, live where you want to live, invest where it makes money.
I like that.
Right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes people get that mixed up where you're not going to live in this rental, so why are you super concerned about X, right?
Well, I'm talking to a couple of people right now that are looking to purchase in, of all places, Michigan. Not Michigan, Milwaukee. And they have these duplexes out there that are renting for $1,500 a side, but they are in the $175,000 range, which is insane to me. For 2? Each. So, for a duplex. So,
okay, so $350.
Yeah. Oh, no, total.
Total, 175.
Yeah. How are you getting so much rent? That's what I was thinking. You can't get that kind of return on your money here in California.
Yeah.
But that's a great example of where buying out of state can make a lot more sense as a long-term rental. Now, what do the appreciation rates look like over there? it's not my market, so I couldn't tell you. I have asked, and they say between 1% and 2% per year.
Right.
So you're not really making the gains there. Whereas in California, we consistently see gains. I mean, historically in the 5% range year over year, and that's where real wealth could be built on your primary residence or even other rental properties here. But from a cash flow perspective, you've got to consider that buying here, it's very difficult to cash flow immediately unless it's a multi-unit property or you're putting a significant amount down.
I agree. So like if you're looking out of state, folks, don't expect appreciation like California to be fast. Sometimes it's even flatlined. Like I've seen properties people buy 10, 15, 20 years ago, and they're not even up like 50,000, 100,000. So take that into consideration. But like if you're looking for, you're on a fixed income and you need some additional income, you might have some fat equity in your home. Well, refinance. Do a cash out refi or a second equity line of credit, something like that, and then buy a property out of state. I've got lots of connections, obviously, with EXP. We're worldwide. So if you need a realtor in another state or another country, feel free to reach out. With these properties that you're funding 5 to 10 a month, how much are people typically putting down? Or are they buying cash?
Most of them are moving out of California, so most of them are selling before they move. So I mean, that's the ideal scenario. Now, when they can't do that, we've got bridge loans, I think we've talked about, but other ways that they could potentially buy without having to sell first. But most of them, I would say, are selling before they buy. If somebody was looking to purchase their first home out of state because they feel like this market's just a little bit too expensive for them. Usually those people are putting down the minimum, 3%, 3.5%, something like that. But I've got a lot of investors that will buy properties in other states, and they're using equity from, like you mentioned, some of their other investment properties or primary residences, doing cash out refis or a second mortgage. We've got what we call a DSCR second. So it's a second mortgage that's not qualified based on your standard income. It's basically based on the rental. The rents received on that property. So depending on the cash flow, we can pull money out without any other income documentation. And our investors like that because with those type of loans, you can pull money out, purchase another property, and actually close in an LLC. So I don't want to get too deep into the weeds on that, but there are advantages of being able to do the loan in the name of an LLC. So our regular investors, our experienced investors, are pulling cash out of one property to put down on another investment property and doing that out of state a lot.
Love it. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you brought that up, Josh, because that listing I took recently in Menifee, they're looking to move out of state, and I'm going to be putting their home in the market in about a couple weeks. And that's exactly what we're doing, folks. And I told them, hey, let's give my buyer seller a couple different options. Maybe look at the bridge loan, the VA loan. What if we sell before we buy, or what if we buy before we sell? And so tell us a little bit about that bridge loan option, because that's kind of what we're doing with our folks in Menifee.
Yeah, so bridge loan is just kind of a short-term, interim loan used to access some of the equity that you have in your current property, put that down as a down payment on the future property before you sell what we call your departing residence, your current home. So it does require a certain amount of equity. So you need to have a certain amount of equity in that property to be able to do this. We can generally pull out up to, what was it, 80% loan to value. So $1 million house, like up to 800,000. Let's say somebody owes 300,000, then we could potentially have access to about $500,000 that we could use to purchase that next house. I think the clients you're talking about purchasing in Montana, right? I think they were looking in the 550 range. So sometimes you can use that to buy a house cash before, so we don't have to worry about financing. If we did want to finance part of the property they're purchasing, though, we have a loan that allows us to omit the payment from what we call from your departing residence, so that you're not having to qualify for both houses. If somebody's going to retain their property, instead of doing a traditional bridge loan, which requires you to be selling the departing residence, we can do a home equity line of credit or a second mortgage to tap into that equity, and then whatever the market rents are for that property, because if you're going to rent it out, we can use that, or at least 75% of those market rents, to offset the monthly payment, so you're not fully qualifying for both properties. So there are different ways to go about it. Depending on the situation, there might be better ways to either sell, buy, contingent, or do a bridge loan, but we have those options, which is important.
Options, guys, that's exactly the right word. And it's one of those things, because when you have options, folks, less pressure, right? Less pressure to sell, less pressure to buy. So consult with your professionals first and foremost, I would say, because somebody experienced like Josh and I, we could kind of lay out the roadmap, because it's one of those things, like I said, options takes off the pressure from having to like panic sell and fire sale your property and just, hey, I got to get whatever I can get.
Oh, we're doing a loan right now for somebody that's moving up to Sacramento area. They're selling here in San Diego, but they didn't want to have a bunch of people walking through their property while they were living there. They've got kids, and it's going to work out a whole lot better for them to do this bridge loan that we're doing, because at least that way they can get out, they can stage the house, they're going to likely get more money for it, and it's just going to be a whole lot less stressful.
There you go. Yeah. See, we're on the same wavelength. I love it, because that's true, folks. When you think about like staging a home, sometimes beauty's in the eyes of the beholder, and when they walk in there and see that like they could totally visualize themselves living in there, it makes a world of difference on the offer, because sometimes these properties that I've gone through, some of them aren't show ready.
Oh yeah.
You know, and when they're not show ready, that's like automatic discount.
When you've got pink shag carpet in your bathroom, probably not.
Did you go to my house, Josh? Okay, I'm kidding.
Yeah. I know you don't got pink shag carpet in your bathroom.
Totally kidding, guys. No, I mean, it's true. Like, I mean, you got to really talk to a professional, because like I said, if that house does not look appealing, or even the landscaping, it doesn't have curb appeal, I mean, that really makes a difference on selling that property.
Well, another good topic I think to mention would be accessing some equity, not only to purchase the property that you're going to be buying before you sell, but also to renovate the property to get it up to like current standards or sellable standards.
1000%. Josh, you won't believe some of the stuff I see. I mean, you name one of them. Yeah. But I walked into this property one time and it was like half painted. I'm like, are you serious? Told let a realtor look at that property, or a buyer.
Yeah.
It's like...
one of my employees was just mentioning that they saw a property on Zillow and there were like bloodstains, and like it was a video, I don't know, there's a video on Zillow for some reason, and they asked somebody that was like worked for the coroner or something, like, is that blood? And they're like, that's for sure blood. Like, how could you post that like to the internet?
It's not show ready, folks. It's not show ready. So I don't just help people buy homes, folks. I do help a lot of people sell their homes. So please feel free to reach out if you're looking to buy, sell, invest. Happy to help. Anything else you wanted to add today?
No.
I think we covered it.
I think we covered it.
All right, Josh, you're the man.
You are.
All right, guys. Keep watching, subscribing, and we'll share the words of wisdom for you before you buy, sell, or invest.
See you next time.
Peace.